Hello everyone, this is Dr. Anshana Tureja, faculty in the area of HR from MBA. Today we will be discussing about the topic related to compensation management. Compensation management is anything which you are paying to your employees related to the remuneration or related to the work they are doing for organization. Compensation management is basically a structure that should be equable, that attract, motivate, and retain employees, ensuring that employees are rewarded fairly based on their performance, based on their roles, and the market value. Here, the important thing is it is a structure that would be paid equable. Equable means it should not be more than what is required, it should not be less than what is required. It should be equable, not more or not less. It should be rewarded fairly in terms of it should not be rewarded in terms of if we are paying less to our employees, employee will dissatisfied and they will leave the organization. If we are paying more, in that case organization will be in trouble. We have to pay based on their performance, based on the kind of roles which we are assigning to them, and it should be equable based on the market value. Market value is like what is the trend going on, yeah, what is the market price. Based on that we should always decide upon the compensation. Whenever we are talking about the compensation, it should be integrated with strategic integration, wherein we are distributing compensation not only to employees of organization but to the all stakeholders who are somehow directly or indirectly connected with the organization. Other than that, human resource integration, which is all about you are integrating the compensation policies and strategy based on the human resources which are working for organization. Whenever we are deciding the compensation, this is the 2 by 2 quadrant structure, which is talking about the pay, whereas basic pay will be common to everyone who are lying under the same cadre. Variable pay may vary from person to person based on their performance. And other thing which they are emphasizing here is pay transparency. It should not be the pay which should be hidden. It should be transparent so that we can calculate and we can find out what are the salary and what are the additions or deductions you may have in the salary. Other than that, benefits. If we are talking about the pay is already discussed, where we have talked about base pay and variable pay. Benefits, if we are talking about, is something additional which organization is giving to you so that you may have a feeling of fulfillment. Benefits may be paid holidays, holiday pay, certain kind of healthcare or medical benefits that would be important for your well-being, certain kind of pension contributions, certain kind of benefits in terms of fringe benefits organization can give, certain kind of benefits in terms of compensation or labor laws related additional benefits. If you're talking about personal growth, all these things will lead to individual satisfaction and individual development as a whole. Personal goal may related to career progression, personal goal may related to learning and development, executive development, succession planning, or something that will lead to competency development of employees if they are working for organization. Other than that, we should have to have a positive workplace behavior that will lead to employee satisfaction and that can bring overall well-being among the employees. These positive workplace behavior can be responsible for satisfaction and fulfillment. These positive workplace behaviors can be leadership, wherein the role of leader is very primitive. Leader should be very supportive. Leader should always be a collaborator, putting a collaborative effort so that organization feel that leader is the one who is not only leading us but the one who is contributing towards organization success and helping hand for employees. There has to have a culture which should be very conducive and very pleasant so that employee feel comfortable while working with organization. They should have to have a sense of accomplishment, whereas you should have to have a purpose of why you are with the organization. If you are working with organization, you should have to have something like what is you are doing is ultimately contributing towards organization goal achievement. Here there are certain fundamental concepts which we have to keep in mind while designing compensation. First is human capital management. Human capital management is a view wherein if we are designing the compensation, it should be related to human capital. That means we should treating employee as a human capital, and whatever we are contributing towards human beings, it will leads to generating the overall capital of organization. That means, in simple words, we can say that human beings are not beings, but they are the asset for organization, but they are the capital for organization, which is helpful for creating further capital development. Other than that, there are various theories which are related to motivational and other fundamental aspects. If we are paying compensation, it should have to have employee satisfaction. Or if we are paying compensation, it will somehow trigger or somehow cater the need of employees. Very first is motivational theory. If we are focusing upon motivational theory and try to have a linkage between motivation and satisfaction, or motivation and compensation, there are two types of motivation. One is intrinsic, wherein we are focusing upon internal motivation. Internal or intrinsic motivation is always related to employee satisfaction. Sometimes it can be work itself that leads to employee satisfaction. Extrinsic motivation is always countable or calculate in terms of money, incentives, or pay or promotion. Something which is countable, again something which gives you external pleasure or external sense of fulfillment. Here, another theory which is related to compensation and motivation is instrumentality theory. Instrumentality is something that is instrumental for achieving overall objective. Say for example, if I'm doing MBA, so my whole purpose for doing MBA is I want to do job which should cater, or I want to do job which is going to cater my personal achievement, yeah, personal goals. So I am doing MBA because MBA leads to job generation. Yeah, if I'm doing MBA, MBA will be responsible for getting me job. So MBA is over here is instrumental that will leads to have my objective that can be attained through MBA. Another theory is content theory. If you're talking about content theory, this is mainly emphasizing about the needs. Needs can be internal or external. Needs can be something which is urgent or which can be long term. The content theory or need theory provide you the guidance that is related to your needs that will satisfy your instinct. To satisfy the need and behavior, the pathway is selected that will leads to achieve your goals and that will leads to achieve your satisfaction. So need theory is basically emphasizing upon human beings need. At certain level, our need is to earn money. At certain level, we have enough money. Now we need a sense of achievement. At certain level, we have a sense of achievement, but still we want to have a social prestige or social image. So at every point of time, our need will be different. So need theory is basically customized theory of motivation, wherein we may have a different need of employees and these needs can be catered through different form of compensation. At early level, compensation needs can be fulfilled through money. At later level, compensation needs can be fulfilled through providing certain aspect that will satisfy individual self-esteem or responsible for developing individual self-actualization goals as well. Another is process theory of motivation. If you are emphasizing upon process theory of motivation, these are mainly psychological processes that gives you a sense of fulfillment and accomplishment. There are three theories which are come under the process theory of motivation. Very first is expectancy theory. If you are talking about expectancy theory, it is what is you are expecting. If you are expecting that you will get reward, then only you will be putting your efforts to achieve those rewards. Say for example, if I'm feeling that I will get I will get handsome compensation. Yeah, if I'm talking about I will get 20% pay hike. If I'm sure that I will get 20% pay hike, then only I will be putting efforts. So expectancy theory is how much you are putting effort, or if you are putting effort, yes or no. If you want to put effort, so subconsciously you are feeling that yes, I'm sure that I will get rewards. If I have that surety that I will get reward, then only I will be putting my efforts. So expectancy theory is more related to you are only putting efforts only if you are sure shot confident that you are going to get compensation. Second is goal setting theory or goal theory. goal setting theory is related to specific goal settlement या specific goal attainment. If you are designing your goals, then only you will be satisfied if you have goals which are attainable. Other than that, you will get frequent feedbacks. So you setting up goal, having constant feedback, and attainment of goal, that all three things will lead to satisfaction only. Another is equity theory. Equity theory, as a name suggests, equity, that means equal. If I'm putting effort, if I'm getting equal compensation, I will be satisfied. If I'm putting effort, I'm getting more compensation, probably I can be dissatisfied. If I'm putting effort, I am getting compensation which is less than that of my effort, I will be dissatisfied. In both the cases, I will be dissatisfied. If I'm getting more, I will be dissatisfied. If I'm getting less, I will be dissatisfied. So in equity theory, you have to maintain effort and reward equilibrium. Next is principal agent theory. If I'm talking about principal agent theory, there are two parties which are involved in principal and agent. Principal are those who are the owner or who are the entrepreneur of organization. These are the principal who are designing goals, who are designing roles, who are designing tasks, and agents are those who are employees of organization. So principal are always deciding goals and agents are working accordingly. So if principal are designing goals, they are always thinking that agent should suffice that goal or agents should achieve that goals. If agents are not able to achieve that goals, principals will be dissatisfied. That is how they are maintaining the relation of principal and agent. Principal are deciding goal, agents are actually working on that. That's how it is principal and agent theories work. It is working on the principle that if the agents are able to satisfy principal needs, principal will be satisfied. If agents are able to perform the work, how principals are assuming that or perceiving that agents should perform, that means principal agents theory is sufficing the goal of principal. If agents are not able to perform the way principal are expecting them to do, the conflict maybe arises. So in short, we can say that principal think that they have a control over agent, but not in every case principals have a control over agents. Another concept is related to psychological contract. If you are talking about contract, contract is a way by which two parties are involved. There are certain kind of written expectation in general contract, but if you are talking about psychological contract, these are the unwritten expectations that exist between two individuals. If you are working, organization will reward you. This is something which is aligning. What? Reward. Not working, not reward. So these are general rules, but these are not rules which are written or you are signing a contract. This is something which is more psychological. If you're working, organization will reward them. Yeah, organization will compensate them accordingly. If you are not putting effort, organization will not contributing to the compensation. But these are not written anywhere. So these are the unwritten norms. So psychological contracts are the set of unwritten expectation or norms that exist between individual employees and their owners. Thank you.